Hi, welcome to Controversial Rock Theories with Ryan Kruesi. Hello everybody, Ryan Kruesi, Kruesi Originals. Today is one of those kind of day in the life things. This is the first video that we're really going to be filming for 2024. It is January 10th. I don't know when this is coming out, maybe next week or something like that. But this is the first thing that we've filmed. I took like 2 weeks off, needed 2 weeks off. Went really hard last year, got really burnt out, needed a little bit of a break, got really sick of doing this shit. So, you know, so every once in a while you got to step back, reformat yourself, and just not do anything for a while. I really did nothing. Sat around, got lazy, put on some weight, took some weight off, did a little different things like that. But today, the main goal for 2024 really is getting rid of all of the shit that has been around the shop for a long period of time. We finished Joe's bike yesterday, the Gray Ghost. That thing is gone. That video is already out. You guys just saw that. The bike is done. The bike was dope. We dropped off at Joe's. Glad to see it gone. One more out of the way. I have a chopper next door that we've been working on for years. This chopper's been a nightmare. The gas tank's sitting right over there. The gas tank's been stripped and peeled and coated and so many times, but this bike was so rotted when we got it. It was so rotted and so bad. I never should have took this job on. It was a huge mistake. But it's just, the gas tank has so much cancer in it, and it's a custom gas tank. There's no way we could ever get another one. There's nothing we could ever really do to save it. It's really basically a lost cause at this point, but I stripped it a bunch. I filled it full of bolts at one time and just beat the shit out of the inside of it to get all the chunks of rust and broken off metal out of there. And we've got most of it out, so I'm gonna try and get the carburetor. I gotta flush the carburetor out because it keeps plugging the carburetor with rust. I'm gonna flush the carb. We're gonna put the gas tank back on. I'm gonna try and get that thing running, finalized, and get it shipped out to the owner. He lives in another state on the East Coast. We're gonna get that done. I wanna get it shipped out and I want it to leave. And I'm gonna get my Vette on the lift today. And hopefully by the end of the day, I can at least have it on the lift and start tearing it down because my angle kit is here and my coils are finally coming in. I got custom BCs coming, custom made for my bikes. I'm sorry, I'm normally doing bikes. This car shit is weird for me. I got custom coilovers from BC Racing. They are set up for my car. They set me up a custom spring rate and valving and all that shit. Drift HQ actually set all that up, and we got to have that. They're supposed to be here Friday. And I want to have the car ready for the weekend to go slide around a little bit. So today is going to be a little bit of me doing a lot of shit. And it's also, it's 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock already. We've been doing media work and all that stuff and all the business shit kind of coming back because I literally just came back to work yesterday, right? Yesterday? Yeah, just came back to work yesterday. So first thing I'm gonna do is tear this thing apart and just kind of get into it by cleaning the float bowl out and everything else on an old S&S carburetor. This bike was so rotted when we got it. The pegs, all the rubber on the pegs was melted off and melted all over the bike. Everything, every gasket in the motor, the transmission, everything was just rotted out of it. It'd been sitting for like 10 or 15 years and just outside. It was destroyed. And the dude brought it in, he's like, hey, you think you can just get this running for me again? I'm like, dude, no. This thing is bad. It's in bad shape. So we went through everything, had to rebuild the motor top to bottom, the transmission, everything's been recoated, repowder coated. The bike is brand new, top to bottom. And the dude, he got done with it, he's like, I just want to sell it, you know, I want to build it to sell it. And I'm like, well, nobody's buying these things. This is like outdated as hell, unless maybe someone in Tennessee or the East Coast, maybe someone in New York would still ride this shit, but I wouldn't. So it is one of those endless projects that have just, I work on it in my spare time. I've got about, I don't know, what the hell? $5,000 in labor-wise and just working on that gas tank over and over again that I'm not going to bill the guy for because he's been waiting for so long for this thing to get done. So this bike has literally cost us probably $6 grand plus in loss on building this piece of shit right here, which if it wasn't for the gas tank, this thing's a badass. It's a 113 high compression, big nasty motor, built transmission, BDL belt drive, like all high dollar badass bike. It's just the gas tank has just been a nightmare, which to get a gas tank, you'd really have to have someone build you a gas tank. But I'm hoping at this point I got the gas tank clean enough. I like beat all the inside and blasted the inside out of it for the 3rd time, cleaned it, I've flushed it with gas, flushed it with acetone, everything I can do that's not gonna attack the paint, because I don't want to paint job up. The paint job is way too nice. What do I need for tools? A flathead. The paint job's way too nice. Walk with me. I don't want to destroy that fancy paint job because we had it custom painted and all that shit. We took the thing, it was originally was built by Paul Yaffe Customs way back in the day, I would say late 90s, early 2000s. So we took it to Paul Yaffe and had them strip and coat the tank originally. I don't think they did a very good job, or the tank was just in such bad shape to start with, and the cancer had set in so much already that there was just, it didn't matter. It didn't matter that it was stripped and coated, the cancer was in there, and you just couldn't beat it. No matter how much chemotherapy that gas tank has had, there wasn't much saving it. So I had to rip all the coating out of it again. I had to do a bunch of just, like I said, I filled it full of bolts and nuts and hardware and just beat the shit out of it. And then getting those bolts and hardware back out of that tiny little hole, it was a good time with a magnet and a magnet, a magnet, and a magnet, and a magnet, and patience. And I've just been blowing and blowing and rinsing and blowing and drying and rinsing and blowing for days on end. I've had enough. So today, we're hoping that she's finally clean enough to make it run and get her on down the road, because I don't want to work on it anymore. So I'm gonna pull this float bowl off. The float needle keeps sticking and it keeps pouring gas on the ground because the gas is getting contaminated with rust, and that sticks the float needle. So we're flushing her one more time. This will be the third time we've stripped and flushed the gas tank since we had it stripped and coated. And it's just been endless. It's been over a year I've been doing this shit with this gas tank. These are the joys of custom motorcycle building. I think this bike's been here for 4 or 5 years, probably. Just been endless, because Dave was building this bike originally, and then Dave got in a bad motorcycle wreck, and Dave is out permanently. And I didn't want to step into someone else's project. I don't like doing that. We were really waiting for Dave to come back, and then Dave's just not coming back because Law Tigers. Law Tigers made Dave a retired man. And if you're ever, in a wreck, call us and we'll set you up with Law Tigers, because Law Tigers will make you a fairly wealthy dude. They take good care of all of our friends that have been in motorcycle wrecks, as long as it's not their fault. Dave got hit by a snowbird on her cell phone, and she ran a stop sign and creamed him really bad. He's never going to be the same, but he does drive a brand new Toyota Tundra, twin turbo Tundra now, and he's doing pretty well. But I'm going to pull this apart, clean it, drain it. We'll get back to you on the next step. Come on, baby. I hate the Beatles.
Tell us why, Ryan.
The original boy band. Crap. Chick music. Anyways, back to where we were.
You're not the target audience.
I'm not the target audience. Do you like the Beatles?
I don't not like them. I respect what they did.
What'd they do?
Musically.
Shitty haircuts and boy band pop music?
Songs.
Like what?
I fucking tell you, but
Exactly.
I'm
So,
also 30, dude.
yeah, I mean, I'm 45. I still don't know the Beatles. Like, give me a song, June. Beatles that you're like, man, this is a good one.
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band.
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Nope.
Yellow Submarine.
That's all hippie music. Actually, it wasn't even hippie music. It was like, so I worked with this old greaser. Like, he had the old grease back hair. He was OG from like the 50s greaser type guy, right? Back in the day in construction. Yeah. California, grew up, I was like, oh, you listen to Beatles a lot? He goes, no, that was chick music. And I went, huh.
So this isn't even your
I never
official
thought about
opinion?
that. Well, I never liked them. I never liked their music at all. I thought it was pussy music, but I was never into it. And I was talking to him because he was from that era, and I figured everyone liked the Beatles because my mom was such a Beatles fan, but my mom was a chick, and it was chick music, so it made more sense. It would be like me being 75 years old and someone asking me if I like the Backstreet Boys.
100%. Your answer would be definitely not.
So there we go.
That's a good point.
The Beatles were the Backstreet Boys of their generation. So hell no, I
And
wouldn't
what
like the
Harry
Beatles.
Styles- Do you like Elvis?
Yeah, I like some Elvis. But am I ever gonna play an Elvis song on purpose? No. But I do. I like some Elvis music when it comes on. Oh,
You're right.
oh yeah, I'm all sugar. Yeah, he played good rock and roll. But, I mean, still not a big Elvis fan.
You may have a very solid point that it not occurred to me.
See, I just enlightened you just a little bit. Enlightened
No.
all you right there. Think about that one. Contemplate this on the tree of woe.
No, that only works because I'm open-minded. Your argument wouldn't hold water with everyone.
Well, everyone's gonna be like, oh my God, the Beatles, they started rock and roll and they made it so popular. No, they didn't. I wouldn't even call Beatles music rock and roll whatsoever. That was pop music, pop
You
band.
have to go all the way back to what was popular right before. They did revolutionize what was happening and introduce a new style.
A new style of pop music. Who else was out during that time? Was it the 50s or the 60s when they came out?
50s.
50s. There was Jerry Lee Lewis, the Big Bopper.
Same time though. Those
There
came
was
back.
Richie Valent.
That's like now comparing rap to.
No, that was rock and roll compared to pop music.
It's different genres. You can't really compare. Country was country then. It wasn't pop country or rock country.
Well, I was country when country wasn't cool.
Hey, Dolly Parton.
That's not Dolly Parton.
It's some chick, right? Isn't it?
I was country when country wasn't cool.
Oh my God, who is that?
Man, I don't know. I don't remember. One of them 70s country singers.
Yeah.
But anyways, there was lots of good rock and roll bands out at that time, and the Beatles were a pop group that came over, and that everyone claims to be a rock group. They were not. They were pop when there was real rock and roll bands.
Clean
Problem solved. Back to it. Back to our regular scheduled program of controversial rock theories. Hi, welcome to Controversial Rock Theories with Ryan Kruesi. Anyways, Float Bowl's done. She's back together. I got to go do some click-clacking computer work because it's Tuesday, right? We launch videos on Tuesdays, so that means we upload the videos and then I got to write the whole thing up. And if you guys don't know how much work it takes on the backside of launching a YouTube video every time, it's like basically writing a book about the video to get the SEO and the, what is it called? Keywords and all that stuff so that the search engine, because everything is a ranking on YouTube and you got to rank the videos by keywords and get your keywords ranked. So your keywords are what's in your title. If you want those title words to be ranked highly, you got to basically write like a bunch of novels down in the bottom. And then you got to go through and set cards in the videos. The keywords, even the stuff you put in the thumbnail, if you write stuff as in your thumbnail, that also comes up as a keyword. There's a bunch of crazy stuff that goes into the backside of launching a YouTube video, which it takes me like an hour or two, and then you gotta create a thumbnail and do all that stuff. So I'm gonna go into the old Kruesi Originals creation station right now, which I don't know if you guys have ever really seen that up front and close and personal, but I'll give you a little tour. I'm gonna go over there, I'm gonna sit in my luxurious couch, do a little click-clacking. I'm gonna eat some meat and rice like I do every day of my mother effing life. Maybe have some chips involved. A little bit of chips. I'm gonna do that, then I gotta come back, put the gas tank back together for this thing, and try and get it to fire up, ready to rock and roll, so I can get it done, and hopefully have enough time to get the Vet on the lift, and at least get it on the lift today, because that's a process. Our little lift is not like drive up to the lift and lift the car, it's more like an assembly process of holy shit, but here we go. Follow me, creation station. Kind of want some more of them chips. Let's see if my food's done. I think it's almost time for a new microwave too, because this old boy's getting slow. We also need a new shop. We need a lot more space really, really badly. And I just went down the street to pick up some parts at another shop, and I saw a building for sale, and I went, oh my God, and I pulled in, and it looked like it had a big yard and had all these bay doors like it was an old automotive shop. And when I pulled in there, I realized that it was like a 1960s car wash that was very dilapidated, so I kept on going. But come on into the creation station. This is where June works. This is her fine desk. She has ornaments of motors and a nice GHD right here. This is a glute and hamstring developer. I use it for stretching out my back and other things because, you know, when you spend enough time stunt riding, you get a few bulging discs from time to time. This is television. I like to watch TV while I work. If I'm working on bikes over here, I'm usually watching Supernatural all day long because it's great. I've seen it so many times I can just listen to it and it kind of keeps me focused. The ADD and shit is spinning so fast all the time that I got to have something to drown out the rest of the world or I can't concentrate on one thing at once. We do some filming right here. This is my seat. I got a nice piece of carpet right here, which looks like it needs vacuumed. We got a Christmas tree that I really need to get rid of because that thing is dry. It's really dry. It hasn't had an ounce of water on it since we bought it a long time ago. I got a squat rack that I don't use anymore, a dip bar. That's where my heavy bag hangs. I like to throw a little pepper from time to time. My body don't move like it used to anymore. It's really frustrating. Like I feel like I'm still there in my brain, but nothing really works right. I'm getting too slow. But I'm gonna sit down right here, kick back, and do a little computer work. Can I unplug this? She's ready, right? Let me get my Macintosh laptop. I'm gonna go get my food, get set up, and kind of go from there. More?
Yeah, a little more. Yeah.
Ooh, easy does it. Oh! Yeah, so I'm gonna have this is only my second plate of meat and rice today. I had salmon and rice earlier today, now meat and rice. Got a big shake of mini cups of fruit and oatmeal and protein and protein and protein. That's what happens when you get old and you have a tendency to be fat. I'm a naturally fat kid, trust and believe. I can blow up like a balloon real fast. So, my wife will fat shame me to death too, so I gotta stay fit. Oh, that was wonderful. If anybody could recommend a good eye doctor in the North Phoenix area, that would be great. Really need to get my eyes checked. Wearing these $1.50 readers all the time is not cutting it. You know what the best part about all this is I can't type or spell for shit, so it really makes things nice for me to do this. It is the next day. Got really caught up in that computer work that I was showing you guys, and then Simone Bruce showed up because we were going to sponsor Simone Bruce's wife, Drea. She's Drea Stunts on Instagram. She's a killer, got a bunch of followers. She's building another diner right now, and she's going to build a bagger. Actually, we're going to build her a bagger, I believe, eventually, but she's putting together a diner right now. So he came by to put together the parts list of all the stuff that he's going to run of ours, and we got all that together, and then the day kind of got off anyways, but I got the gas tank on the chopper. The chopper is ready to go. Hit up Homeboy for an address so we can ship this dude out and send it on down the road. Just waiting to hear back to get the shipper going. I got all the stuff to lift my car, get it on the lift. My coils are supposed to be here Friday. I'm really, really hoping that they show up Friday morning and I'm fully prepared. Trent got a new clutch, a bunch of fancy shit, clutch flywheel stuff for his car because he smoked the clutch out at the Modded Culture event. And that's about it. I'm going to get this guy in the air and start just tearing it apart, and we'll see what happens, honestly. So I got the car in the lift. I think I went over all that already. It was just a really quick summing this thing up today. I got everything out from underneath it. All of the arms and everything are out of there. The leaf springs are out. The leaf springs were very intimidating. I watched lots of YouTube videos on how to get the leaf spring out of a Corvette. Apparently nobody knows how to do that properly. There's a lot of people just cutting them out with side grinders and shit like that. It's really not that hard. It's actually really easy. It took me an hour to get everything out of both sides. Arms, leaf springs, everything. It's all over there. It's not that hard. As long as you don't bolt everything, the leaf spring just drops right out. It's pretty forking simple. Come this way. I also pulled the leaf spring out of the back, and the shock is out. Leaf spring out of the back was super easy. It just has the two couplers that hold it up in there. You unbolt those, and then you unbolt it where it bolts to the arm, and the leaf spring just drops out. It's super simple. And then to get the shock out, just unbolt this guy, pop this arm, and then do a bunch of cussing and screaming. I got all that out. She's on the floor. This already had composite leaf springs in it, like the fancy leaf springs. They're really lightweight, and they're an upgrade, but they're still shit. The shocks were shit. They were completely blown. I could compress them with my hands. I compressed them and pulled them out. It was pretty impressive. It was pretty compressive. I got the FDF Mega Mantis kit, an old thing of rice over there. That's all going in tomorrow. I'm going to start putting this together tomorrow. I've got a few pages of homework to go read and go over tonight on how to set all this shit up, because there's so much adjustment to these that I don't know anything about. But that being said, did buy a bunch of really fancy alignment tools and all of that jive, so we are going to set this up ourselves and do everything ourselves and try and figure that out and get it dialed. But that is also a video for the Toge Tales playlist. We'll be filming all this when it really goes down. This is more just a couple days in the life of what's going on and what's happening. And thank you for watching very, very much. I'm Ryan Kruesi. This is Kruesi Originals, KruesiOriginals.com. You might find me on your mom. Peace.